Guten Morgen, half a day, heck yeah. Hello, hello. Here, let me get rid of the elevator music. There's no music at the main menu. I don't know if it's just me because it is a demo, but we're playing Night Shift 1999. Oh, I see my stuff is off. The game has been giving me some interesting issues, right? I'm assuming my screen is tiny. Like it's not full screened. Yeah. Okay, well you're gonna be seeing some behind the curtain nonsense then. Do-do-do-do. Right, cause stuff's happening. Ooh, I wonder if it's because of my settings. Right, so maybe if I change this to something crazy. Because I did 19 by 1080 because I'm like, that's what I have. What if I just go full max? Does that fix it? Not that big. Not that big. Yeah, I tried to do the whole like capture thing. And of course, I only have one monitor. So I'm like, oh, it looks great. It looks great. And then of course, once you start streaming, you're like, oh no, it doesn't look great. So little technical issues, but that is okay. That is the fun part of streaming. Let's try 2560. Give that a gander. Close. But not what we're looking for. Hold on. All right, so let's see. We did 2560. So what if we try the 1920 by 1040? Or 1440, excuse me. I don't know. On your computer? Yeah, I don't know. I normally have... I did not pick 1920. Oh, I did pick 1920. So let's see. Not that. I think my resolution for my screen is like a weird one. Because I'm like... I know it's bigger than 1920 by 1080. I know that much. So it's like logic would be like, oh, 1440 by 1920. But then you look at it and you're like, oh, no, that's not it. So it's like, obviously, if I trim a side to 1200, that's not going to work. And then this won't work. I could just be weird. What if we do full screen window? Maybe that will do something. Now back to the 1920 by 1440. Hold on. It looked perfect before stream. So like, what if I do this? I like how this like popped back into place. So I'm just missing the bottom bar when I do this. Is my thing bigger than 3840 by 2160? Is that why it couldn't be captured? Maybe. Right, because if I do 2560 by 1440. Right, screen's too big. I know, we're trying to figure it out, Harold. We might just have to deal with a black bar at the bottom because I can't get it to fit. Oh, poor thing. Well, heck yeah, Harold. How are we doing today? Right, and that trims that. Honestly, I think this might be the best one. Well, you know, just having some technical issues. Right, so it's definitely 1440. Right, because like, what did we change? Yeah, so it's definitely 25 by 60, but it's taller than 1440 because like we were able to get the whole thing. And for me, at least on my screen, it looks full. But for you guys, you have a black bar. So. And if we do this, it's too big. What if I do this? Oh. Well, now it's definitely too big. Right. We're just gonna have to live with a black bar for now. Here, let me see this again. If I do windowed. Yeah, no, it's just, there's just a black bar. Common resolutions. They don't have that one. And see, this is what happens when you buy like a monitor from Newegg. Let's see. Right, they don't have 76. We tried 38. We tried 25. Yeah, these are all 16 by 9.
Oh, what is yours?
Not
16 by 9?
Apparently not.
Oh, okay.
Monitors come from eggs now? No. It's a website called New Egg, and it's like where I like got most of my parts, because you can like custom build a PC with all the stuff they have there, and it's usually like very well priced. All right. Interesting. Right, because if I do full screen, black bar. Interesting. Maybe if I change it. The joys of having one monitor to work with and you don't notice issues until you're live. Oh my goodness. I think I just realized it's not a black bar. I think it's the little extension bar that I'm seeing. Ignore me. I think I'm looking at the extension bar is what is the black bar. Either way, Night Shift, 1999, we're doing the demo. Spell vampires. Yeah, I was looking at this bar down here, and I thought it was a black bar to the game. I know, I'm silly. I need a second monitor. Vampires, imagine that. I know, 1999 vampires even. Oh! Lovebirds International. Yeah? Kebab House. Lebanese? Lebanese. There we go, I can read. It's been a long time since I've been in a city like this. Log auto skip. Enter? Long enough that I can't recognize the cars and buildings anymore. Trams, sure. Trains, I get to. Not much different than before, but these things, the roads are cramped more than the sidewalks. At least the pandemonium isn't anything different. In fact, the chaos seems organized compared to what it's been like in the past. There's still the odd fool to walk straight out into the street, but the braking is quicker and there's no horses to contend with now. I looked through the lease I signed a couple weeks ago. It wasn't easy finding a place that doesn't care if you're employed or not, so I don't really know what to expect from my new dwelling. Money. That'll be another problem soon, too. I narrowly pass through the bustling bodies of people wandering the streets. It's getting quieter the further I walk, but there's still groups of partygoers clustered together. This close to people after... God, it's been too many years to count. All I've had is a crypt and a corpse for company. It's intoxicating. I turn a corner, and there it is, my new home, dazzling with bright, shining lights in every window. Building towers over the suburb for eons, the tallest thing in the area, and I can't help my apprehension. All of these apartments, this close together, how many warm bodies are packed in there like sardines? Maybe the crypt was a better option. I walk through the sliding doors and get started. 10 floors is a way to go. Lofty ceilings, fully functioning kitchenette, and plenty of room to grow. That's what the flyer had said when I picked it out. Apart from there being plenty of room to grow, it seems true to its word. I've had what... Meager belongings I could scrounge together sent over. Boxes clutter the room, spread around without much thought or care. And of course, a new bed. Since I've been asleep, there's been a boom and ease of shopping. I never thought I'd see the day you could buy something over the phone. Exactly. But humans are nothing if not industrious, especially when it comes to convenience. The world runs on it. The only issue now is the huge windows stretching across the entirety of the studio. That's not going to be conducive to my particular lifestyle. Weaving through my clutter, I take in the scenery. Such a shame to cover up this view. We're in Australia? Are we Australian vampires? Nice. The hike up the stairs would be worth it if you could say good morning to the world each day. Like sardines, the humans are practically packaged and ready to go. From up here, you can see all the boats in the harbor lazily drifting in the sea. Put Put another blood pack on the Bobby. Oh my goodness. There's tiny illuminated dots in the distance over the bridge, moving carefully as people make their way to their own homes. The city's in perpetual movement, no matter where you look. I've missed all the fireworks, having been underground while everyone ushered in 1999, but it's still so bright out there, full of restless energy and the type of exuberance you only see once a year. I've never seen a city so bright before tonight. Every corner I look at is lit up, rivaling even the night sky itself. Actually, where are the stars? They've been dimmed in turning the sky into a deep, endless blue. I wonder what it'll look like in another 20, 50, 100 years. Smog used to overshadow everything. Now, new gases do. I know with certainty that one day it'll suffocate itself into silence. Though who can say for sure that I'll be there to see that? No matter how many times I go and come back, I never feel any older. I'm always just as starstruck as a newborn, forced to learn everything over and over for eternity. Well, here goes try number 5. I've come well prepared for this. Grabbing the stack of paper from my backpack, I start sticking it to the glass panes. Goodbye, world. Hello, sanctuary. What? Not even, like, perfect. Just like... I'm going to say they don't know about blackout curtains yet. But again, it is the 90s. While it's the first time I've done it in a while, it's nothing I'm unaccustomed to. Whenever, wherever I've resettled, it's what I do before anything else. After all, there's nothing scarier than daylight. Bit by bit, the landscape is covered up by flyers for album releases, upcoming movies, and cleaning services. I can't help but eye the few job listings I picked up along the way, too. It's hard finding employment when your academic references are over 100 years old, and you've got a gap in your history just about as long as that. But it's sink or swim, now more than ever. Alone for the first time in my life, truly alone, I need to figure out how I'm going to live again. Even as antiquated as I am by now, there's nothing research can't fix. Naturally, it's exactly what I did before finalizing my move. Stepping back, I admire my handiwork before reaching into my bag once again. A resume. My resume, neatly typed and printed. It turns out that typewriters have since been replaced during my absence, but I can't say it's for the worse. I rather like what I've seen of computers thus far. With some help from an internet cafe attendant, who gave me more than a few confused glances, I was able to come up with this. They'll have to forgive my lack of a headshot, but really there's nothing I could do about that unless I mailed the portrait my sire gave me along with it. Here you go. Here's my resume. Wait, in Australia, do they do headshots with the resumes as well? Because I know it's a practice, like over in Japan. I think South Korea. But like, not here in America. It's just your name. Come tomorrow, I'll be dropping off my copies to every business in the area, but tonight, I can relax. Oh, is this like about the 2000 millennium bug, end of the world dealio? Maybe. Maybe it's vampires. It could be. Right, not in the UK. Maybe in Australia they do. Look, it'd be good to get a feel of the place. It's been a long journey here and an even longer journey before that. I think of my sire. I think of the first few months I was reintroduced to the world. I think of what it means to be without her now. But no matter, people come and go. A fresh start is exactly what I need to do exactly that. I climb in my coffin and close the lid. An early night sounds pretty good right now. As darkness welcomes me once again, sleep casts over me like a shroud. Despite it being the middle of winter, I can scarcely feel a chill. There's nothing but an overwhelming numbness spreading across my body. Nassar. Here, look, right there on the side of the neck. And I bite? That's it? Isra. She sighs gently, letting out half a laugh. It's a bit more complicated than that, but yes, bite. The person under me can't be more than a few years older than I am right now. What is he, 28? 29? I bite down. More than once. A lot more than once. All the while, my sire tries to guide my head to the right spot. She's speaking softly, her voice fading into the background as my ears fill with the rush of blood, a heartbeat thrumming hard and fast. It's not my own anymore. Mine stopped the day I was left in that shallow grave, a brick between my teeth and my hands tied behind my back. Oh my god. A false accusation, but people were scared and superstitious. Ironic that I ended up turning into the very thing they were afraid of, a vampire, through and through. Now, this is the closest I'll ever get to being alive again. When I'm taking someone else's. That's better. She hums, her hand stroking my hair. Next time, let's try not to take a chunk out of the shoulder, all right? She's so amused, so assured. It's like there's nothing wrong with this at all. Maybe it's true. It's only natural. The words echo around me, and I'm left with this feeling of her tender touch. It never feels like any time passes at all when I'm locked away in my coffin. It stretches on into an eternal night. Or, well, no time to dwell on that. First things first, I should look at a map or maybe the yellow pages or both. That sounds best. I know I want to take a look at the hospital down the road, St. Vincent's? Not Vincent. Vincent's. Not that my medical knowledge will do much good with how things have evolved since I was last practicing, but maybe there'll be some sort of vacancy? Porter or cleaner or orderly? Ah, yes, the vampire hysteria from hundreds of years ago. At this point, anything will do. I'm also getting hungry. That's an understatement. It's been a few months since I last had anything at all, and abstinence is not my forte. For all my years being submerged in this world, it's still my least favorite part. Deep down, I don't want to hurt anyone, but if I don't take care of this soon, there might be a bigger problem on my hands. I can look for something or someone down the road, but it's a bit close to home. Then there's that street that runs past the park. Not to mention the coastline might be a safe bet too. I have a few options. Ooh. I'm assuming to like eat and stuff. Okay. Vincent Van Gogh. You know what? This seems like a good place to give us a little save. There we go. I'm gonna say, let's go to St. Vincent's. Festivities from the night before are still in full swing. It was bumper to bumper all the way here, and people have continued to loudly celebrate the new year. The date seems to have no bearing on the celebration. The last year of the millennium. Who would have thought I'd never see the day? As exciting as all that is, it's been very busy on the sidewalk, and that does not bode well for what is going to be like inside the hospital. Sorry, I'm moving this because I am short and I can't read. There we go. There's a queue of ambulances outside the ER, and that's not mentioning the horde I can hear inside. This is where someone who values their time might turn around, come back the day after, and speak with admin then, but I'm on a deadline. It's not like there's an abundance of cafes who desperately need someone working from 8 in the evening onwards. Here goes nothing. And somehow I managed to walk straight into someone. Great. So much for the inhuman resilience when I can't even manage to coordinate myself. He's for, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean... Oh, hello, Dr. Man. It's fine, it's fine. Then he mutters, not the first time it's happened today. Ooga booga meep hello. Hello, Lewis. Heck, Ian. The nurse I've just crashed into doesn't look that upset at least. Mostly tired. There are dark rings under his eyes, and it looks like he might fall asleep where he stands. I don't know how long shifts last nowadays, but I wouldn't be surprised if his has run into the 18th hour. More importantly, he's poised to keep on walking. I look down at his name tag. Isaac, before you go, I'm a little lost. Do you know where HR is? I'm trying to find the hiring manager. There's a beat of silence before he answers, almost like he's a million miles away. Then he snaps back. Yeah, go straight down the hall and then take a right. If you keep going, you'll see Chris's office. And with that, he's off. I don't mind that. Better to get straight to the point. Another demo. And straight back to what I was doing. His instructions were clear enough, but that's not why I'm meandering. I had known this was a risk to get a job in a place so tightly packed with so many beating hearts, but I hadn't expected it to be like this. There's a plethora of open wounds, bloody bandages, and more. I didn't think about this. I did not think about being a hungry vampire going into a hospital. Oops. Even before the smell of industrial strength bleach and antiseptic, I can't get it out of my mind. Maybe it was a mistake coming here when I hadn't eaten yet, especially when it seems the entire town has found their way to the emergency room tonight, but I can't go back now. Trying to block my nose, I move past someone's bed that's laid out in the hall, obviously waiting to be moved to a room proper. I try not to notice, but it's impossible. They aren't hooked up to any sort of monitor. Their condition, stable as they sleep. If I happen to satisfy myself now, no one would notice. No one would know. The resume in my hand is long forgotten now as I clench my fist, the paper scrunching as I do so. Nina, you better save. A vampire in a hospital. What could possibly go wrong? Hey, I'm trying to find a job, okay? I need money. I'll be quick if anything happens, at least we're in a hospital. I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna be quick. After making sure I'm truly alone in this hallway, I inch closer to the person laid up in the bed. By now I can feel saliva start to swell up in my mouth, which does nothing to ease the guilt that's already begun to settle in. I try so hard to play at being human, but here I am, scarcely able to control myself when confronted with someone unable to protect themselves. How can I say I'm better than the people who hurt me, forced me out of the house and home, made me feel less than? All I seem to do is prove them right, and maybe that's what I want to do, deep down inside. Thoughts continue to swirl around, a cacophony of self-hatred as my teeth sink deep into their neck and the first pulses of blood fill my mouth. Even as the gnawing hunger at the pit of my stomach begins to subside, it's hard to pull away and let the moment end. Ooh. That was approved and they dropped the investigation. Oh, you meant the game. There's something perverse and thrilling about having someone's life in your hands. What would it be like to earn this trust, to be given it instead of taking it? I wouldn't know. I've never been afforded the benefit of the doubt. Afforded the benefit. And so here I am, clawing at whatever I can get my hands on without a care. I slowly release the person from my grip. Their breathing slightly shallower now, but still strong. It's easy to sink into everyone's expectations of me, to indulge in the worst of my behaviors, but I don't know if that's who I want to be anymore. Why should it be up to me to prove them right when I can just as easily prove them wrong? I don't enjoy crossing that boundary, harming those who have no say in the matter, and it feels even worse under these fluorescent lights. People come here to be helped, to be saved. Instead, I'm a scourge that's only making things worse. I can pick and choose who is the best target for my own purposes, but at the end of the day, no one person is more deserving than the other. There's always equal risk. That's enough introspection for now. Finally, I decided to dedicate myself in earnest to dropping off my resume and discussing the upcoming interview. There'll be time to ponder over what happened there, but I don't need to get caught up in it right now. What's important is I confirm my interview and get out of here. Too many temptations, too much chaos. I don't need to walk much further because there I am, face to face with the office I've been seeking. I rap my knuckles on the door and open it up after a bright voice yells, "Come in!" "Hey, good evening, Chris." He gives me no chance to speak, already ushering me inside and closing the door behind him. Now, don't tell me. Mary? No, I'm actually here to inquire about the orderly position. Ishra, I sent you an email? Ishra, of course. Nice to put a face to the name. Here, hand that right over here. Leave it with me, and we'll be in touch about an interview, but, taking a look at this already. He trails off, furrowing his brows as he reads through the paper. I brace myself. There's not a huge amount of experience I could put down, considering all my references are dead, and my degree's quite useless. Let's hope I don't have to bust out the fake birth certificate next, because as much as I've tried to make it bulletproof, I don't know how much it can hold up to the scrutiny of an institution. I think you'll do just fine. You got all your health and safety done. That's the important part, and we're happy to give people a chance here. Then he drops his tone lower and winks. And between you and me, there's not enough people lining up for the dirty work. Hey, yeah, it's a buyer's economy. That's not what that saying means, but he still chuckles along with my awkward laugh. Same email address? Have you got a best contact number? Not presently. I've recently moved and I'm still getting my landline set up, so... No cell? That's fine. Keep an eye on your inbox and we'll talk then. As quick as he whisks me to the room, he's sending me off on my way. Seems like a busy guy, but hey, I won't complain. At least it seems I've got a solid lead with this path. It's been a while since I worked a proper, real job, but this will be a nice change. Independence, productivity. Who could have seen me back here after all this time? It's too early to think of the future, of continuing education and career paths and promotions, but it feels like the start of something good and new. Now, was there anything else left on my to-do list? Look around, darling, go to the park, check out the coast. How you feel about an entirely text-based game, no visuals? They're okay. I mean, they do exist. And that's how we got, like, the start of our video games. I'll say background visuals do help, but it's like, if the text is good enough, we got imagination. Let's go to Darling. I should have saved. Oh well. As I'm putting distance between myself and the proverbial scene of the crime, I managed to slam into someone. Again, twice in one day is just embarrassing. What am I, 6? My sense of space has been atrocious, but this is no time for mental berating. Ooh. Very nice. I would say it has a place. Like, any game genre has a place. So, I imagine some people will be like, meh, but it's like, no, if you make it very clear, we're like, this is a text-based visual novel. They'll be like, okay. It's like reading a fancy book. if it's got like interactability elements to it, like, pick and choose your own adventure or like what have you, it's like, it's a game. That's all that matters. There's an apology on my lips as I stumble back, but not much chance to actually verbalize it. I put a hand between us only to find the figure in front of me, forcing a card into it and abruptly leaving. So much for manners. I looked down at the calling card, no name, no explanation, only an address printed neatly on it. Surely this hasn't become the new norm, right? Strangers throwing cards at you and running. But I've seen less plausible before. Whatever this is, it seems a little too well timed. Ooh, yeah, good sound design. Like, yeah, don't have it silent. Like this? Busy street. Perfect. There's far more on this planet than what even I can comprehend, and I've met much of that over the years I've been alive. Finding me right after I finished my meal of the evening, at least not some kind of wannabe vampire hunter, could do without a stake in the heart or my head lopped off. Maybe it's arrogance. Maybe it's down to my wealth of experience, but there's not much that I can't handle and not much I like leaving uncovered. So yes, the prospect of going to this address has piqued my interest. It's not too far from my own flat. Ooh, I would say do both, right? Like, it doesn't need to have constant like this. Like, we've heard there's been some silent moments, but it's like, try it out with audio, like, see if it enhances it. But it's like, if you're going for like a nostalgia vibe, it's like, yeah, old style text games didn't have audio back then. You had the computer going beep, beep, like every time you typed something, but like, or it had like 1-bit music, do 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 do. But it's up to you. It's only a couple minutes down the road. In fact, it's only a few buildings from this very alleyway I found myself in. I had the beep noise. Burp. Taking another minute to debate myself, I already know what part is winning this fight. Right, see? Burp. Right. I didn't mean to hit the mic. But it's like, you could do that. Every time the text changes, you just add a beep. Make it old school, classic. Not to you, devs. We're talking about someone else's game. Sorry. I take off in the right direction, start counting down the numbers on the establishments I pass. This haven that humanity has created for music, debauchery, and, well, it's certainly not love, but something else starting with the letter L, is quite the mesmerizing little spot. So mesmerizing, in fact, that it seems like it's attracted its own set of unique guests. No wonder I find my way here, too. I arrive at the destination, and the inkling I had before has now been confirmed. It's a small hole in the wall, an inconspicuous entrance with a door all painted black. Whatever it houses, though, even from out here, I can smell the mess of aromas from deep within those walls. There's certainly nothing human about it. When I listen close enough, there's a thrum unlike anything out on the streets. It's loud and infectious and mean. And then there's the howls. Howls? Filtering through the air, unheard over the noise of the city and its own beat. Werewolves. Clearly. Not that I mind, they always are the most fun. You telling me I'm at a werewolf club right now? Lights, camera, action. There are bright flashes all around me as strobes flicker in the dark, making the sea of figures move in snapshot perfection. There are people in all states of transformation, their bodies merging into a beast of its own, but it doesn't look like it's only werewolves in here. There's the odd apparition, translucent and reflective, lots of smoke too. It's wafting through the air, obscuring the true depth of this den that I found myself stumbling into. The ingenuity of my own kin never fails to surprise me. Hopefully this sinks in the bathroom or over there. Oh my goodness, could you imagine? Not exactly dressed for the occasion, seeing as half my wardrobe was from the last century and the other half managed to get lost at sea, but no matter. The music is vibrant and powerful, loud enough that it vibrates right through me. It's impossible to resist, and soon I find myself shutting my eyes, allowing the waves of those around me to guide my movement. It's a peaceful few moments, enough to lose myself in so that I can forget about the hunger deep inside. That's already mounting again, until someone taps my shoulder, dragging me back into the world of living. I don't think I've ever seen you around, little vampling. I love her shirt. Let's see. Be off-putting to us as well as making it very easy to get distracted, but just say, right. Background music isn't even needed. Player can just open up YouTube. Right. You could even do that where it's like, hey, I recommend this Spotify playlist when you play the game. And they'll be like, oh, okay. She's tall, so much taller than I am. Everything about her is sharp edges and danger, from the spikes on her lapels to the hand on her hip. It only takes me a second to assess and resume what I was doing before eyeing her as I begin to follow the rhythm of the music. And I assume you're the muscle of the place. You didn't do well enough keeping me out if that was your job. She snorts, steadfast and still as a rock. Everyone around her seems to be repelled as if she's got an atmosphere of her own. There's no stopping her, it seems. That's a poor observation on your behalf. If I were involved, you wouldn't have even reached the front door. Despite her proclamation that she's not security, she still looks me up and down and then once more for good measure. You don't cause any trouble and there won't be any trouble for you. Her accent sounds thicker now, forcing the words out with such heat that it would almost be enough to bring me back to life. Feisty, but not without good reason. Cross my heart and hope to die. That doesn't amuse her. Of course it wouldn't. But she still releases a sigh, barely audible if not for my keen perception. It seems that I've passed whatever little test she had set out for me. The bar is over there. She flicks her hair in the direction of a somehow larger group of people, all buzzing around what must be the so-called bar. I'm not sure what it is that starved dogs eat, but what better time to find out than now. I'm not the only one with a penchant for blood. Before I take off, or more accurately, before my unexpected guest can, I reach out my hand. Ishra, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around. She doesn't take it, why would she? And she narrows her eyes before answering in return. Before she can return to wherever she appeared from, she still decides to add her name, quiet and firm, then she disappears into the crowd. Alex? Oh, Alex, I don't think we will, if you know what's good for you. Alex, huh? Suits her quite well. Oh! Hello! The bar is exactly where she said it would be, but my, oh my. I could have never expected what, or better, who, was manning it. I've never seen a reanimated skeleton before, but this one's slinging drinks like nothing else. It seems they've really carved out a sanctuary for themselves here. Eventually, the hollow eyes of the skeleton's skull find their way to me, or at least it becomes evident that they have when he addresses me. His little name tag hung right on his collarbone. Now, that's a name I haven't heard for a couple centuries. Aurelius. Aurelius. Welcome to Sweetheart's basement. Ooh, you're looking rosy. Found a patron to sink your teeth into, eh? No matter. What can I get for you? Looking for seconds? I'm not sure why that flustered me, considering I wasn't hunting in the club, but most definitely in the vicinity of it. I seem to want to save face. Come now, don't be shy. We're all friends under the darkness of night. There's plenty of people that wouldn't mind a bit of fang. There's a pregnant pause. I'm not dignifying that with a response. Although that information might be useful in the future. I'm winking, if you couldn't tell. I'm winking. Oh, the resident skeleton. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Anyway, tell me what tickles your fancy and I'll get you set right up. Resident skeleton, is that the spiritual successor to Resident Evil? It could be. I'm gonna say because who knows. Ghoul's blood, the grave, liquid, sweet poison, death. I guess ghoul's blood? Not a bad break. It's not like I can be going out each night to, well, party, but this will be an easy supplement. Not much need for hunting when you can just buy it. Convenience in a bottle. The next rush of people crowd the bar and I have to shimmy past, accidentally sloghing the decayed skin of a ghoul. I mutter quick sorry as I keep moving. Oh, yikes. That's worse than spilling a drink on someone. I'm so sorry. Your skin. Back on the floor in earnest, I start to sip at the drink in my hand. Well, sip is putting it politely. It's hard to stop once the first drop hits my tongue and I find myself draining it quickly. The pit of hunger in my stomach was worse than I realized. As I get my first proper taste of sustenance for the evening, I realize that the white noise that had been swirling around me has finally begun to subside. The pressing bodies of the people here tonight don't feel as overwhelming, and the lights don't seem as bright anymore. Most of all, that the bone-deep fatigue has disappeared. It feels like I've been moving through quicksand for the past month, barely keeping upright. Sometimes I forget life can be more than surviving. Somewhere along the way, I've become too used to a threadbare life. Now the evening truly is mine to seize. I wonder what I should do while I still have time to kill. Oh? You know, I'm gonna mingle with my boy. Saving twice, did I save saving thrice? Right. I'm gonna go mingle with him. Why not go talk to the bartender? The fact that he said there's some people who don't mind Fang, I'll be like, I can find a willing participant? Yes! That's usually what people do when they want to get the lay of the land. Besides, they hear all the best gossip. If Aurelius doesn't have any tips, then at least I might be able to idly listen to some drama. As much as I like to think myself above it, there's little I have for entertainment right now. Note to self, buy a TV once I get my first paycheck. Ooh, they wrote check with the Q. If I can afford it after rent. It seems it's settled down again, with people slowly receding from around the bar. I take that as my opportunity to slide back in again. No refunds, it's hard getting that blood, so you best appreciate it. Oh, no, I wouldn't dream. I love it, thank you. It's hard to get a read on someone with holes for eyes, but I suppose I'd say he looks at me inquisitively? He gets back to cleaning off the counter and organizing some of the glasses that had been delivered to him from the back. Are you planning on sticking around here all night or what? Spit it out, will ya? I was hoping you might have some advice for a new face and all. I don't know too many people around here. All the saves. What, never been in a city before? Keep your head down, get to work, and get loose on the weekends. Not that hard to stick to. I suppose I was hoping for more tangible advice. There's a lot of, I wave my hand trying to get the point across. In all my years, I've never quite found the right words to describe our lot. Monster is too loaded and creature is too cruel. Anyway, I was wondering if we have anything to worry about? Wherever we are, there's always something to worry about, but it's easier these days. Phew, 50 years ago, we'd be having a different conversation. And 100 years would have been an even worse one. Nothing that I wouldn't have heard of before. Yeah, I guess you know about that nasty business all too well. Things can be complicated, but no one's dying from that anymore. He slings a cloth over his shoulder and leans in close. The music is still thumping loudly, loud enough to cover up the conversation, but I don't blame him. I wouldn't push it though. You never know what could tip the scales. I've seen peaceful times and I've seen hostile. It can change just like that. Can a skeleton snap? He snaps his fingers at punctuation before leaning back out. Wait. Can they snap? I hear you loud and clear. No murders on your doorstep. But is that really a promise I can keep? I suppose I'll have to. If not for my own safety, but for theirs. That seems to be sobering enough for my tastes. I finish my drink and leave the glass on the table, waving goodbye to Aurelius. Bye, Aurelius. There's hardly any time left in my day. What's beeping? With the sun fast approaching, and the world I've since become estranged to has begun waking up, I can see the sky start to turn pale and blue. Oh, is it the crosswalk? As much as I love the summer months, with everything around me blooming with life and color, I find myself being locked out of the very best of it. The nights are short and the days are long, and even if my world teems with people of every kind, I'm not one of them, and I never will be. But even if someone in this position might find themselves overwhelmed with loneliness, I can't help but still feel connected with it all. It's hard to feel down when the weather is warm. Fruit bats are streaking the skies, and the cockatoos are screeching as they squabble and swarm. Lazily trailing my way back home, I watch as clouds pass me by and people on their morning commute start to find their ways to cars, taxis, and the like. What is happening? This is a very loud corner. There's a few that were out late, tired and jovial, finding their way back to their beds, same as I. Today was successful. I love it. I don't have all the answers yet, but I at least know there's a way forward out of this uncertainty. I could really see myself living a life here. There was a time where I never thought about money, sustainability, staying grounded in one place. Worry wasn't something I ever concerned myself with, but now I'm intimately acquainted with it. Intimately. I can't alienate myself, though. I know just as well as anyone else that if the bodies start piling up right outside my doorstep, I won't have a place to return to. With such a high concentration of, well, let's say strangeness in the area, I wouldn't be surprised if the other side of the coin has been attracted to this place too. Hunters, to be exact. It's a new world, but it's not that new. I'll need to keep a low profile and balance some of my accidents accordingly. I find myself at the entrance of the apartment building and brace myself for the hike upstairs. Here we go again! I should really get started on these boxes sometime soon. After all, I want to become a permanent fixture rather than a transient one myself. As those final thoughts drift through my mind, I find myself being pulled in my slumber. Hazy? It's too hazy. I thought becoming a vampire would bring new clarity, but the world has lost its color, and the wonders that I thought would be waiting for me have turned out to be lacking. I can't even tell how many decades have passed since I turned. Everything is blended into oppressing darkness. I don't think I could have anticipated how small my world is now. No food, no drink, no friends. There's only dead bodies for company and my sire. Above me is a clandestine oil lamp, searing its image into my iris. If I stare long enough, I can imagine what it feels to have the sun beat down on me again. There's nothing but the bitter aftertaste of regret lingering in my mouth. I can't find in myself to move from my chair. I feel frozen in time. I am frozen in time. What even is left for something like me? Not dead, not living, stuck in limbo while everything I touch withers away. I feel a gentle caress on my arm, bringing me back into reality. It's been far too easy to float away lately, untethered to this earth and enamored with what lies beyond the darkness waiting for me. I wonder if I even have a soul left that will be allowed to wander. Come with me. It's been too long since you've stretched your legs. Her voice is so gentle and soothing in my ear, but I don't have any will left in me. I only wish to close my eyes and let myself drift away. When I don't answer, her hand moves down into my own. If you eat, you'll feel better. There's little wonder you're so fatigued. Please come with me. Tonight won't be the same. Blood. It's always blood. It's my never-ending curse, the final barrier between oblivion, and all I can ever seem to do is rip it away for my own selfish desires. I turn away, shutting my eyes closed and focusing on the outline of the light left in my vision. I miss the sun. I miss the day. I miss feeling warmth on my skin and warmth inside me. Eventually she leaves my side, although when, I cannot be sure. Minutes and days are one and the same in this eternal life I found myself in. I blink away the scene and find myself staring at the inside of my coffin. The memory used to fill me with melancholy, forced me back into the same sadness I found myself washing the days with, but now, not so much. It's far enough in the past to no longer hurt me. I can't allow myself to be chained to what happened to me. I can only make myself move forward. As sure as the sun is to rise and set, I am sure to live another day. There's no sorrow in it. But at the same time, somewhere deep inside of me, there's a coldness that I can't quite shake. I miss the sun. I miss the day. Average British winter. Sighing, I exit my bed and get started on what's to come. I've got some time to kill before my interview, but it never hurts getting there early. Not to mention, I don't want to accidentally lose track of time. Could also check out the club again and see if Alex is around if I really want to torture myself. There are also a few locations that I haven't seen yet. Maybe it'd be good to get acquainted with some more of the locals. Or I could pick up some supplies from the pharmacy that I passed by on the way home the other day. It doesn't hurt to have some backup in case anything goes wrong during, dinner one of these days. If I get there early, then I should be fine, but I might eat somebody. But if I go to the pharmacy, I have a backup. I'm gonna say let's go to the pharmacy, right? So we have a backup, and then we go to the interview. So if something happens, I can be like, if I just get home, I'll be fine. But he's like, I don't want to lose track of time. Would you lose that much track of time going to a pharmacy before the interview? No, go to the interview. I don't want to go to the interview. Don't want to risk it. I can't lie. I have pre-interview jitters. Not in the traditional sense. I'm invested in getting this job, sure, but there'll always be others available if it doesn't work out. But above all else, I don't want my cover blown. These days, there's background check after background check. When they ushered in the 20th century, they brought with them added security, too. As much as I want everything to align when I go in today, I don't know if it will. Is it bad to say I miss how nepotism used to work? I'd much rather ingratiate myself with someone and get a job that way without someone looking up driver's license details on a computer. Oh well, that time is long gone. Straightening out my shirt, I take a deep breath and walk into the hospital. Somehow amongst the hustle and bustle, I managed to spot that nurse from before. Isaac? Good omen, perhaps? To no one's surprise, he looks busy as he flips through some papers in his hand. I'm not sure what's good courtesy in this situation. Would it be fine if I said hello? I don't want to encroach on his territory. I don't even know if I'll be working here, let alone seeing him on the daily, but it wouldn't hurt to reach out. I'm going to say go to the interview. We're going to save, and we're going to go to the interview. There'll be more opportunities to socialize once I actually have a job. I didn't even know what I'd say to him, let alone if I'll be seeing him on the regular. Not to mention, trying to befriend the first person I've seen makes me feel too much like a baby bird imprinting on a twig or something. Right now, I don't have the time to stand around and chat. Last thing I want to do is show up late when I'm already here and ready. I start making my way down the same corridor once again to find Chris's office. This time, there's no body lingering for me in the hallway. At least, I don't have to worry about temptations before heading in today. It wouldn't do well to lean in for a handshake and worry about the blood on my breath. I pull on my jacket, the best suit I had in my closet, despite the moth holes around the sleeves. Once, then twice, then a third time for good luck before I knock on the door to his office. Once I hear him shout out, "Come on in!" I spend a second mentally preparing myself. Keep it vague, keep it brief, and keep it on topic. I know I can do this job. All I've got to do is make him see that too. I open up the door. Let's get this over and done with. One relatively straightforward interview later, and I've got the next year of my life sorted. It's not the most glamorous role, but I've never been one to shy away from dirty work. It's respectable, it pays, all right, and it's got all the right hours. If push comes to shove, there'll be easier access to food, too. No more people, though. Blood bags only from now on. Maybe. Not like it's much better, considering how they're in short supply and patients are the opposite. That's all to say, it ticks my every box. Now that I'm in the system, who knows, maybe I'll be signing up to night classes next. There was a bulletin in Chris's office, nice and supplied with nursing courses, phlebotomy classes, and something called radiology. First, though, I can't wait to buy a chest of drawers and a bedside table. I've got a few more hours until sunrise. What should I do until then? Save? Man, you really want to go see who Alex is? I'm like, no, I'm gonna explore. She said no trouble. I want no trouble. Let's go look at the bay. It takes some time to move past the hustle and bustle of the roads, but as I turn downhill, there's a lot less people scattered and far more quiet. I know it's still the turn of the new year, but it's been a long time since I've lived somewhere as highly populated as this. It's nice to feel the thrum of the city, to feel the energy of every living being, but it can be overwhelming too. Everything is so new and shiny, it's hard to know where to look and what to do. I felt a slow mounting pressure to get things done ever since I awoke from my slumber and began my plans to move here. And now that I've arrived, it feels like there's an entire world that I have to get to know before I can be accepted into it. I'm not sure if I'll ever truly be welcome, but it'd be nice to. Game. This person caused trouble to you. Also game. Do you want to see this person? Do you want to hang out with him? I'm like, no. I don't want to get in trouble. It'd be funny if she's at the bay. I continue walking down the hill, feeling the crisp breeze of a summer's evening blow past me. The best part of being awake at this hour is that the heat of the day has died down, leaving only its remains now that the sun has set. It's still sticky and hot, but it's less oppressive, less demanding. Even though most of my autonomic nervous system has been rerouted in my unlife, I still don't enjoy overheating. Perhaps it's just a hangover of a habit, something my body and mind got used to, but I'm not gonna let go of it yet. It's nice to feel connected in ways such as these two. What is this crunching sound supposed to be? Is that like me walking on sand? However, this might not be the best place to find a meal. There are houses aplenty, lights on in the windows, and cars quietly parked for the night. But I don't feel like adding breaking and entering onto my resume, especially in a neighborhood I've only just joined. I doubt anyone would suggest that as a way to meet people and make new friends. It's as I'm approaching the coast, do I notice a figure on the horizon. Someone swimming? The lamps don't work down here, and the only light in the area is what the moon has decided to provide. Obscured by rock and sea foam, I try to make out the details of the silhouetted mystery. I'm gonna call out to them because I don't know who it is. Like, right, if I try to sneak up on them, they might be like, were you watching me? So just be like, hey, you good? Call out to them. There's no point in getting messy when there'll be plenty more opportunities to figure something else out. I don't need to go accosting every lone person I come across. After all, I might be able to find out more about this place through talking rather than biting. I call out to them while I pace down the stairs, waving them over. Immediately the water goes still, and whoever was making a splash has dived down, deep down underneath the waves. That's rather odd. Although I suppose I wouldn't much like being interrupted by some over-enthusiastic stranger, especially at this time of night. They're probably seeking some type of peace and quiet. I go over to the edge of the water, staring to where my own reflection should be as the water ripples and wanes. Night sky dances along with it, the dotted stars looking like islands of sea foam, and the moon a bright spotlight beaming straight back up. Hang on. Isn't this taking a little too long? Did I imagine someone was swimming in here, or are they in a serious risk of drowning? Hey, is anyone there? I don't know if my voice can reach whoever was hanging around here earlier, but it's the least I can do, right? I wasn't hoping to plunge in the water tonight. I don't even know if the myths of running water apply to the sea. But what else am I supposed to do if someone's in trouble? I've been the cause of so much despair, but I couldn't live with myself if these were the circumstances that lead to someone's demise. Seafood? Maybe seafood? As I'm preparing myself to jump in, bubbles start to reach the surface and a person breaks through soon after. Suni? I'm alright. No need to get worked up. It's almost like she could tell I was about to come diving after her. I wouldn't put it past her having watched my internal debate from the outside. Are you alright? What are you doing out here at this time of night? She looks back at me bemused, like she's in on some joke that excludes only me. I promise this isn't unusual around here. We're living in a bay after all. I'm just wondering why a stranger was so intent on interrupting me. Safety? Curiosity? A mix of both? I was only wondering if it was a good dip. I was thinking of hopping in myself. I must have accidentally slipped up somehow. Maybe I smiled a little too wide, or maybe it's my inherent disposition, or maybe it's simply something about myself that screams to the world, look at me, I'm a threat! But she cowers for a moment, the water meeting her face once more. Then she recovers and looks me up and down. You're not human, are you? It won't be that hard to run now. The jig is up, but what does that mean for the long term? No more apartment? No more job? Pick up and move to the next city? I've only just arrived and I already won't be able to hang around here anymore. My very presence disrespectful to the status quo. Before my mind can jump to the next worst case scenario, she throws her hands up. Listen, I can see you're panicking, but it's fine. Hang on, let me show you something. She hoists herself out of the water with one graceful swoop, and I can see what she's referring to in all its glory. Is she a mermaid? In front of me is a massive tail, strong with muscle and tanned from the sun. Ah, so that explains it. I hadn't ever been spotted in such a way before, and it almost makes me embarrassed now to put her existence together, too. It makes sense why she was so reluctant to talk to me. See, it's okay. I haven't seen you around before. I moved in up the road. I'm Isra. I reach out my hand to shake hers, and she laughs a little before taking it. It's a pleasure. Suni, I don't get too many visitors around here, not to mention of your own persuasion. You gave me quite a fright. I suppose this isn't the best way to meet someone new. Even if I wasn't a vampire and Sony wasn't a mermaid, it would still be a bit odd to strike up a conversation with a swimming figure. I might be more out of practice than I anticipated. 100 years asleep and all my manners seem to have disappeared, too. At least she seems more relaxed now that the full truth is out in the open. But something about this scene isn't quite right. Isn't this a little odd? Every myth I've ever heard, every story that's been put to print or passed down in whispers has always spoken of groups of sirens. In all of my own existence, I found that the myths seem to be closest to the truth. Where's your pod? Where's your pod? I'm not gonna interrogate her. I'm just gonna be like, any tips? Like, I don't know, meta-human to meta-human, any tips? Other than don't kill people and try to keep your head down? I think you'll figure it out pretty quick. How long have you been like that? I wink. A lady never tells. Besides, I like to think I'm young at heart. Now you're sounding your age. Alright, I think I get the picture. I'll be staying here for a while, though, I hope. I can't say I hope for the same myself, but she looks out into the distance as she trails her hand in the water. It's a nice place. Different, but nice. You really won't find many people down here. I'm serious. It's dead at this time of night, and I don't know the intricacies of your diet, but you do better further up the road. Duly noted. It's very peaceful. Not so much during the day. You'd be surprised. I have to swim quite a bit further out, and the boats are horrendous. She punctuates that with a noise of disgust, and I can't help but wonder if the bay looks the same as it does from my window. It's fascinating from above, but I never thought about it from below. I've had a hard enough time blending with the increased technology and industrialization. I suppose not even the seas are safe from it now, either. I suppose I must have interrupted your alone time then. Sorry for that. Sony scrunches her nose. Whether that's a good expression or a bad one, I'm not quite sure. But she doesn't sound upset when she speaks again. It might have been a blessing in disguise. You never know. I've not spoken to anyone in a while. Me too, it's been... I can't even say how long it's been. Hey, how long have you... A loud crash from nearby cuts me off before I can finish my sentence, and I whip around to see could have cause. Ooh. A loud crash from nearby cuts me off before I can finish my sentence, and I whip around to see could have... I think it's supposed... Whip around to see what could have caused the commotion. I think we're missing a word here. What could have caused the commotion? There's nothing in sight but paws against concrete, a knocked over bin, decidedly non-human shuffling. Some sort of animal for sure. Nothing to worry about. Must be some cat. Anyway, Sony, I turn around to find no one there. I suppose that's my cue to leave. I'm running out of time to get things done. The last thing I want is to see my last sunrise again. I take my time on the walk back to the apartment, surveying my surroundings. This will be the route I take from now on, night after night. Although the sun is set to peek up beyond the horizon any minute now, it's still dark and cold in the back streets of the suburb. The trees obscure the sky and there's wet in the air. The ever-present humidity cloaking the world with its oppressive force. I'm sorry, what? Am I about to die? There's still a sense of apprehension that punctuates my every thought. I've not gotten to know anyone yet, not really. There's been brief introductions, sure, but it's hard to break into someplace new when you're as much as a stranger as everyone else is. It's in the quiet moments, the ones where I can no longer occupy myself with mental checklists and the usual worries, that I find myself thinking of her. Even when we moved from city to city, town to town, I felt invincible. There was not a single thing we couldn't do or tackle. Life is so much easier when it's two against all. Now when I walk home, I know there's day that will stretch out ahead of me. What? Now when I walk home, I know there's day that will stretch out ahead of me, long and unyielding in its melancholy. There's day? There's days? Maybe there's days. I try to shake creeping gloom away. At least I've met some people though, right? There's no quick and easy way of making friends and finding new ones. I'm sure that won't come up later. Patience is all there is, and I've an abundance of it if the previous years are anything to go by. With time and dedication, everything will be fine. My windows are covered with more than what's necessary, but the room has become a lot brighter now that the day has started. That's my cue to get ready to sleep. I send out a silent hope that I won't see her in my dreams tonight. I'd like to spend some time without the same memories playing on repeat. It's been eons since I was last in a lecture hall. Ooh. I've been saddled with the furthest aisle, peering down at the cadaver in the center of the room as I'm sat high above where all the action is taking place. It feels good to be learning again. What's being demonstrated today is a appendectomy, a first for many people in this room. I get caught up in my thoughts for a moment, considering the fact I've been in this very position thousands of times before, seeing history in the making, but soon I realize that I'm not the only one. It's no unique position of mine. Everyone else here is witnessing the very same act, the very same progression, the very same history. How short-sighted to think I'm the only being on this earth to experience this feeling. Every human that's lived throughout history Every human that's throughout history was seen kingdoms rise and fall. Hold on. Every human that's lived throughout history was seen kingdoms rise and fall. I mean, W has seen. I think it's supposed to be has seen kingdoms rise and fall. Inventions being made and discoveries being unearthed. Most often, it happens several times over before it really sticks. It strikes me that this is a very human thought. It also strikes me that I'm missing all the important parts. But there'll be several demonstrations throughout the week. After all, we've all had to do well to truly understand this new way of science. A lot more people's lives could be saved as a result. Writing down a few sparse notes, I think of what I need to pick up tomorrow. We've been trying very hard to make this place our permanent home, setting down roots and ensuring our longevity in the area. For that reason, it'll be the first time we're having guests over in the new house. I even brought the orrery out of the storage, although I don't know how many people will be impressed with that particular trick anymore. Either way, it's a beautiful classic and it's sure to wow them even if it's only a touch. What is an orrery? I wish to be also impressed. Orrery? Orrery. Mechanical model of the solar system or just sun, earth, moon used to represent the relative positions, motions. Oh, okay, it's a little solar system model, okay. Then there's the matter of food, but right now I couldn't care less how I'm getting it. It'd be fun to use the kitchen. Recently I unpacked a recipe book, its pages yellowed with age and unglued from its bindings, but it smelled a little of home. I know it's my imagination, the book too new and the language different, but I still can't help thinking of my faceless mother, warm and inviting, as luminescent as the sun itself, cooking me dinner as I swung my feet back and forth on a chair. It's an old wound, but it still stings sometimes. I focus my attention back on the lesson at hand, watching with intent as the skin is peeled back. I blink away the memory, trying to ignore the uncomfortable tightness in my chest. That's the most recent one I've had yet. Somewhere deep down, I know that I'll soon be confronted with that night. I don't want to face it yet. Did she get murdered, or was it self-unaliving? Was it suicide? I take in a deep breath and then another. It won't be creeping up on me tonight, however. Exiting my coffin, I pretend to ignore my surroundings and instead focus on my plans for the evening. I don't have anything urgent to do, having already gotten the painful part of the job interviews over and done with, so I suppose I'm rather free to do anything tonight. It'll be my last free moments before my week is structured and organized with my shifts established and steady. I think it might be nice to revisit someplace I already saw. After all, it might be the last time in a while before I'm able to go there again. Ooh, go see Alex or Aurelius. That's my only option. There's not much for me to do now. I wander aimlessly down the road, watching the neon signs merge into one another. As much as I wish I didn't, I can't help but think of that nightclub. And Alex in particular. I don't know if there's much chance of redeeming myself in her eyes. She seemed to have made her mind up about me quite quickly. But it'd be good to know why. Neither of us are particularly loved by the public. Our histories are a lot more intertwined than anyone could believe. So why did she single me out? I'm not a danger to their peace. That's what she thinks. If anything, I've been living a lot more quietly than any of those werewolves have been down there. Whether it's a vampire losing control or a lycanthrope, the consequences are all the same. Humans don't see the difference in our mistakes. I find myself in front of the door before I know it. With a swift knock, it opens to reveal the staircase below. Here goes round 2, I guess. Oh my god. This is way better than the first time we were in here. Focus, Nina. There's a different beat thrumming through the speakers tonight, one just as invigorating and electrifying, but I can't find myself moving along to it. The crowd doesn't care for that, though. Excuse me. Not on my vampire watch. I'm still swept further onto the floor. The strobes above me spotlighting the way to where I last saw Alex. It's not hard to spot her, seeing as she's standing as still as a pillar, strong and unwavering as she scans her surroundings. I wonder what it is she does here. If she's not part of the staff, why does she spend her hours hanging around here without even a drink? There has to be something more keeping her tied here. Once she spots me, she doesn't let her eyes leave me even while she says a goodbye to someone off to her side. It's only a matter of seconds before I'm stood face to face with her. I see you didn't take my warning. I don't think it was your warning to give. You're not gonna kick me out because you can. I wouldn't be so sure of that. I hate that she manages to make me grasp for more and more straws, trying to find some semblance of understanding of the situation. Why should I even care what she says or does? But she's made herself my problem, and I'll take the bait, even if I know I shouldn't. Why is that, then? You don't work here, so I see no reason to listen to the likes of you. Then off you go. I must look bewildered because she makes a noise that can only be described as half a scoff and half a laugh. Stop waiting for my approval. You're here. Now go off and do what you came here to do. It seems that Alex is good at snaking out conversations, but despite that, she still entertained me. Judging by the look in her eye, she might entertain me a bit longer if I play my cards right. I wonder what I could say to get information out of her. So she's a werewolf. Alright, you'll need to rein in whoever invited me in the first place. What if you're what I came for? Find Aurelius instead! Yeah. Excuse you, I was invited here. And who would that be? I can't get a read on her. Maybe she's testing me, playing with me, trying to push me around a little? Honesty. Now that's a concept I have a strained relationship with. It's been a long time since I've been able to be freely honest with the world around me. Too much to lose, not enough to gain. I mull the decision over whether to tell her what happened or to keep her hooked on the line. In the end, truth wins me over. I don't know. You got a good PR team out on the streets, though, accosting strangers and making them follow vague directions. She goes completely still, and for a moment, that air of self-assuredness falters. I've hit some kind of spot. It doesn't feel good on my end, either. I don't know how someone has managed to track me this well. There's a light panic rising deep inside me, and I don't know why I didn't think to question this entire convoluted plot earlier. It's true there's little I have to fear. After all, I've survived this long, relying on more than my wits. But it doesn't feel good to be so vigilant, on edge. I'm tired of running. I just want to wake up and know I'll still be able to come back at the end of the night. Alex has stayed quiet for much too long now. Anything you've got to say? What did they tell you? Even though the music is still thumping and the people around us are having a good time, it makes me feel more anxious than less. Nothing really. They handed me this. I had the sense to keep the card on me. Well, it's not as though I have much to carry on my person at the moment. Having a business card makes me feel important, even if it's not my own. Now, however, feels more like I'm keeping track of evidence. I hand it over to her swiftly and she takes it from me, her hand brushing against mine. Under any other circumstance, I might relish the small amount of contact, but right now, I'm focused solely on what's unfolding before me. Alex continues to say nothing as she studies the card, flipping it back and forth as she reads over the words. Go home, Mishra. There's nothing for you here. Oh! She turns swiftly, but I'm quicker, grabbing onto her arm to stop her from leaving. There's no way she can leave just like that, leaving me in the dark when I'm the one who has the most to lose. I don't know how she's lived her life up until this point, but letting someone else drown won't stop the ship from sinking quicker. Do you know who gave me that? Alex stares daggers at where my hand is wrapped around her wrist, but she doesn't try to shake me off. She probably knows she couldn't. There's little that can move me, and someone mostly humans certainly couldn't. This is no way to get answers from me. You've left me no other choice. Who gave me that card? I don't know. Is that what you wanted to hear? Not really, no. It's quite the opposite of what I was hoping for, but I've always been a realist. I knew this was coming. But now Alex has more to answer for than just that question. It's not a surprise to me. I'm curious now as to why you care. Could have been any one of. Gesture around us. These people? Why is it a big deal? This time, she does try to rip her hand away from me. I let her, willingly releasing her once I feel the first pull. We don't advertise. We don't want more eyes. I don't need someone like you. She jabs a finger into my chest, all her frustrations boiling over into one grand gesture. We got first curse word. This up for all of us. I don't know who has their eyes on you, but sort it out your end. I'll sort it out here. With that, she finally leaves, the gap where she was standing just before me closing up as the crowd moves in. I don't know how someone could have followed me all the way here, but I suppose I'll have to find that out. This isn't how I wanted my night to end, with unease roiling through my body like a bad disease. I stay in place for a few more moments, thinking about my next steps before I finally leave too. I suppose I'll have to sort it out, but Alex will be in for a nasty surprise if she thinks that I won't be back. It's far easier with two. Go home, that's my only option. Go home! That night no longer feels warm and inviting. With every street I pass, every person I spot, I can't help but view it through a lens of suspicion. This is how I've survived. This is how I'll keep surviving. Even if the world around me can feel suffocating, as if the walls are closing in, I still persevere. What else is there to do? So with that in mind, I enjoy the last few moments of nighttime that I have and linger as I walk. If I take my time, there's a lot that can be revealed. Ibisses, rummage through trash, cockatoos swoop above me, and the water gushing through the all-mine fountain blows in the direction of the breeze. It's still restless out here, bustling with unrestrained energy and people going all directions. Sorry. Ibisses? Is that a bird? I think it's a bird. It is the bird! I was gonna say, is it the bird that's like Pharaoh? Yeah. Extinction status, not extinct. Thanks! Thanks, Wikipedia! I can't get my mind off the fact of being followed, no matter how hard I try. Maybe not now, not here, but I've been, and recently. Nothing about the beauty of the world can change that. And if you know where I'm going... Oh, and if the know where I'm going, they've known where I've come from too. I take a closer look at my surrounding. There's... If the know. There's a car idling across the road. There's a man who's been sitting on a bench who keeps looking my way. There's a stray phone waiting on a trash can. Trash can? Who the hell leaves a phone on the side of a trash can? Hang on. Is that phone ringing? I take another look around, trying to see if anyone might have left it there. I try not to feel apprehensive. I try to remind myself there's no way it's intended for me. But the phone keeps ringing. It keeps demanding I pick it up. I walk over there with all the casualness that I can muster and I answer it. It must be only a handful of seconds, but they stretch out into eternity, each one longer than the last. I can hear a siren coming to life somewhere further down the road. I can feel the wind picking up. There's the first few stray beams of light peeking over the horizon. You need to get inside. There's nothing on the other end of the phone except unending silence, heavy in its absence. Hello? Finally, there's a click. Whoever was on the other end hung up. Mentally, I kick myself for breaking first. Why couldn't I have waited a touch longer? But my nerves are shot, and I feel like my world has been tipped upside down. It doesn't feel good feeling unsafe. I'm tired of it. I quickly look through the recent call list, but there's only a blocked number staring back up at me. Damn. I could throw this into the fountains. I could make sure they know that I don't care. But I could also get a free phone out of this. Or I could find someone who could. I don't know, someone track whoever called me. But something tells me that even if I did, it would have come from a payphone. Well, it takes me a short while before deciding to pocket the phone. At least this way there's a line of communication, and maybe if I'm gonna wake up in my door being smashed in, a warning before it happens. I make the rest of my way home, walking faster with every step until I'm near flying through the streets and up to my lonely apartment. I might be moving sooner than I thought, and I haven't even had a chance to unpack yet. Everywhere I look, there's reminders of the past. If she was here with me now, she'd know what to say. She'd take my hand, tell me to still hang up my coats, to use the coffee table we bought together in Rome, and to buy that lamp I've been looking at the antique store. In the antique store. She'd tell me there was nothing we couldn't fix, and she'd have been right. But she's not here anymore, and I'm fixing my own problems now and doing a terrible job of it too. But maybe she's still right. Even if her words are mere echoes of my memory, maybe I don't have to run at the first sight of trouble. I take one look at the interior and file it under tomorrow's problem. I won't be scared out of town. I won't be made to run anymore. I'll definitely start unpacking. That didn't sound as confident as I hoped. I'll start unpacking. That's better. Yay! So we met a skeleton, we met a werewolf, we met a mermaid. And somebody apparently is following us. Thank you for playing Demo by Gorgino Owasian, with music provided from Freesound. Yeah! We have support from Australian government and Screen Australia. Yay! Can you imagine being backed by your government to make a video game? Awesome. Ooh, it's coming out next year. Alright. Obviously that's just one route, right? So like what happens if I go a different route? I generally thought it was just gonna be no one. I mean, that's why... that's very never happened for me. I know that much. Hello, darkness? Do I click? Left click? Ah. If I say continue, I get to pick. Okay. Well, I didn't really have a lot of options. I mean, there was her. That was like the first choice. Oh no, these are quick loads. There we go. I was like, what? There we go. So I did job interview first. What if I decide to go to the road? Right? Let's just see. Very night before, I twist them vastly different scene. The shapes wrap. So if I say skip... Hold on. This isn't the same languid personal I had yesterday. While the humans might walk around with their sense of purpose, acting as if they're in charge of their own destiny, I can outpace their any reflex... I can outpace their any reflex, any thought, any sense of control. I can outpace their reflexes, any thought, any sense of control. Maybe this is interesting here. I can't behave like this in front of the entire world. As much of a lone wolf as I am, there's the bigger picture I always have to consider. Blowing my cover is one thing, but blowing everyone else's? There must be hundreds of creatures in the area alone, all suppressing and hiding, pretending as if they were no different to the thousands of humans to match. But in the end, there's always going to be them and us. People fear what they don't understand. Why is it always up to us to prove them wrong? Something vile is beginning to bubble up, seeping into my view and into my mind. As lampposts whirl past me, I take it to the alleys and lanes, snaking behind the many buildings that line the streets. No, there's no sense of urgency, but there is an anticipation that's growing deep inside me. I've been asleep for years, 100 years, and the acting I've had to do to get here. It all melts away now. There's nothing between me and the elements. Nothing to stop me from realizing who I really am. Whatever petty argument I played to myself earlier tonight about not wanting to harm has long been lost. Released to the very winds that I can move in tandem with. Oh my god, what's happening? First comes the release. I can't wait. I can wait on the guilt until tomorrow, when it will inevitably reach its crescendo and force me back into its ill-fitting bindings. I can pretend that I'm something other than a hunter, but a hunter is what I am. No proselytizing and justifications will ever make a difference. This is what the world sees me as, so that is how I shall behave. Somewhere amongst the tirade? Have I found myself way up high, higher than the apartment I've confined myself in on the soon-to-be doomed journey of self-discovery, higher than the moon itself. What is happening? I'll give them a bit of credit. They know how to build a tower. They try so hard to harness themselves, that they try to harness the world, but there's things beyond their comprehension. Things they'll come to know very soon. Looking down, I let my instincts choose who I'll be picking off tonight. But there's a tug from the corner of my mind, a little piece of conscience. It doesn't have to end in bloody murder. As I begin my descent, I close my eyes and allow myself to feed. You know, let's just go for it. I'm just gonna do a little new save for you there, buddy. Let's go to completion. Tendrils of red fade from my vision. Every bone in my body, every piece of dead flesh and muscle aches with satisfaction, but there's a hollow dread where warmth should sit. I'm sated, but at what cost? Down at my feet are the remainders of my own trivial whims. I might try to blame my actions on the world around me, pretending as if people's distrust and hatred and preconception justify what I do and who I must be, but at the end of the day, it all lies with me. I'm not bound to be the thing that goes bump in the night, to lose every sense of myself and more. There's more than simple bloodlust and contempt. Why should I live up to their expectations? It's a debate I've had with myself more times than I can count. I have it each time that I've left here with a body quickly cooling in the night. You think I've resolved it by now? The first person I ever killed, with my sire's hand still guiding my head as I did it, was in the 17th century. So 1600 something. Now I'm sitting on the precipice of the 21st, and all I can think to do is to just try to do is justify myself with poor excuses. I don't like doing this, no matter how often I think the hurt I've experienced should be inflicted on everyone else tenfold. No matter what I might tell myself in the moments before I wrap my mouth around someone's neck. I might have fed, but I'm left emptier for it. As I'm putting distance between myself and the proverbial scene of the crime, I manage to slam into someone. There's an apology. This is the guy giving me the card. Hold on. Settings. Text. Read only? Everything. I'm guessing read only? Right, because that's the guy when he gives us the card. So I was like, oh, we've read this, so let's try to skip it, but it's not letting me skip it. Interesting. Maybe I need to go to settings, make this speed faster. Right. Want to be vampire hunter? Yeah, so we have read this before. So the skipping of like red text doesn't seem to work. Right, with letter L. Back door. Nothing human. Right, lights, camera, action. So it's gonna be the same dialogue. Right, because I imagine if I hit everything, it's just gonna... And I'm like, no, I want to read stuff I haven't read yet. Right, she calls me little vampling. So let's just get into it. Like, what's your deal, my friend? Right, there's the bar. I guess we'll try grave. Not a bad break. Right, convenience in a bottle. Back on the floor as I start to sip the drink in my hand. Music is thrumming, rarely experience. Life is about surviving. Okay. Let's go find her in the crowd. There's one person still on my mind. Such a frosty reception is bound to do that. She's not the only one with a keen sense of smell, and I can pick her up almost immediately. I find myself trailing towards the private seating section of the club. As expected, she's leaning on a pillar outside of it, taking a sip from the beer in her hand. Still cool, calm, and collected, I see. Putting on my best moves, I decided to greet her once more. Unsurprisingly, she seems like she was expecting me. What, can't drink anything that doesn't come with an umbrella? Now that I've got a chance to hear her properly talk, a very clear accent peppers her words. It's strong and heady and extremely intriguing. It's stronger than anything you'd be used to, umbrella or not. She looks me up and down and a barely perceivable smile crosses her face. It disappears soon after, but can I still say a win is a win? If you think blood and guts will impress me, you're more inept than I thought. Then she leans in close. The world seems to drop away, darkening at the corners as she obscures the field of my vision. It's her and me. I eat the same things you do, too. I'm too stunned to speak, my brain short-circuiting with the admission, but really, why am I surprised? When push comes to shove, claws and fangs are dangerous no matter who they're attached to. Maybe especially when they're attached to someone like her. But you seem more like prey than any vampire I've seen before. As quick as she closed the distance, she backs off again. Give you safe. Gave you that impression. You should tell that to the body in the back. And you seem nothing more than a pup playing alpha. We're gonna... Rawr. I almost feel like cringing as the words leave my mouth, but no backing down now. She takes a sip from the bottle in her hand and looks back at me, clearly bemused. Ah, is that as good as you get? I expected more from you. Could have fooled me. Am I not more prey than predator? I was hoping to be proven wrong, but your fangs speak well enough for themselves. I must have had my lips parted too wide because she reaches over and deliberately pricks her finger on one. Madam, putting your fingers in my mouth? Excuse you. Ouch. With that, she winks and turns away, fading into the crowd sectioned off by red rope. How'd she get hit on? What's happening? All I'm left with is the lingering taste of metallic, replacing whatever O-type I'd been drinking just moments before. I have to say, it's the best drop I've had tonight. Oh my... Well, it seems there's nothing left for me to do now. I may as well end the night before the night ends me. So how is it gonna be when I talk to her again? She's gonna be like, quit meeting like this. Okay. Let's see. Busy on the sidewalk, inside the hospital, queue of ambulances outside. Okay, so now we go to the hospital. Right. Right, go inside, and then I bump into him. Right, Chris's office. Straight back to what I was doing. Question, if I eat the... That'd be like my second body. I think we're good. I think we're good. It's a plethora of open wounds, bloody. Even though it's... even though it's bearable now that I've eaten, I won't be having the luxury of feeding before every shift. Is this really where I need to be right now? I've only just managed to claw myself back from the abyss. Maybe it's wrong to surround myself with so many vulnerable people, so many humans at the mercy of my own impulses. I forced myself to breathe in deeply. Nope, this is gonna be my life now. There's no better time than the present to start. I'll have to learn to temper myself, but the only thing that can stop me is me. I promptly moved past the patient laid up on the bed, deciding to dedicate myself in earnest to dropping off my resume and discussing the upcoming interview. Okay, so because I already ate something and had a drink at the club, I'm not even tempted to eat this person, which I feel like that's gonna come back and bite me in the butt. There'll be time to ponder over what happened there, but I don't need to get caught up in it right now. What's important is I can confirm my interview and get out of here. Right, there it is. He's like, come on in. And then he's like, Mary, and then he's talking about email. Same stuff, lowers. I don't know why he winks at me. Why did you wink at me? Thanks, Chris. And he's like, get out of here. All right. Was there anything left on my to-do list? Reconvene? Reconvene. The sun fast approaching, the world I've since become estranged, sky is churning, being locked at the very best of it. Okay, so it's like similar stuff. Right, cockatoos are screaming, cars, taxis, beds, dump. I can really see myself living a life here, yeah. Yeah, gotta balance my accents accordingly. Then we hike up, and then I'm in my little coffin, and like, it's hazy. It's our little hazy dream. Alright. Make myself move forward. Right, live another day. There's no sorrow. Alright, got time to kill before my interview, but it never hurts to get there early, not to mention I don't want to accidentally lose track of time. I could also check out the club, see if Alex is around, and a few other locations. So, gonna definitely save. So this is where I did last time. Sweetheart's basement is most likely where Alex is. This is the bay. This is probably where you meet the mermaid, right? Because she's at the bay. The street, I think, is that hospital icon. Like the little street to the hospital. I don't know what the pharmacy is, but I'm like, let's go find Alex. She's flaring up a storm. Madam, there's not much for me to do right now. I wander aimlessly down the road, watching the neon signs merge into one another. As much as I wish I didn't, I can't help but think of that nightclub. Let's go get a drink. And Alex in particular. I don't know if there's much chance of redeeming myself in her eyes. She seemed to have made up her mind about me, but it'd be good to know why. None of us are loved. Okay, so similar dialogue. None of us are loved by the public. Right? It's blood's blood. Humans don't. Blah, blah, blah. Staircase. Here goes round 2. Right, she's standing still as a pillar. So I don't even have the option to like go find her. It's just like instantly. Right, why did she spend her hours hanging around here without even a drink? There has to be something more keeping her tied here. Right, she says goodbye. I see you didn't take my warning. See, what warning? You put your fingers in my mouth. Right, you can't kick me out. Da, 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 da. So this is like us being like, huzzah. Right, stop waiting for my approval. Okay. Get information out of her. All right, you'll need to rein in whoever invited me. We did that. Right, what if Yorick came here for? And then there's Aurelius. Let's be like, what I came here for you? After all, she's the only thing that I was thinking of when I came here tonight. I'd say I don't know how she managed to capture my attention so thoroughly, but that would be a lie. Everything about her, from top to bottom, is intriguing, if not infuriating. Alex has managed to trap me in her snare, but I can't say I mind. My honesty doesn't seem to impress her, however. She still has that unreadable look on her face, standing still and statuesque against the backdrop of the crowd. You're gonna be the first, and you won't be the last. Don't be disappointed. I'm not surprised. She demands all the attention in the room. I'd be a fool to think I'm the only one. But at the same time, I know there's no one else like me either. I smooth back my hair. It's go time. I have more appetite than one person can satiate. I won't blame you for being the same. Then I drop my voice lower, looking up at her through hooded eyes. This'll do it for sure. I don't need you forever. I only need you tonight. Oh my god. Despite the loud pounding music echoing throughout the club, it feels dead silent in the space between her and I. Trying to keep my nerve, I move to tuck a loose strand of hair behind her ears. Other person. Before I'm able to reach up to do so, a new expression flitters over Alex's face. It's quick. I almost missed it. Then she's back to her usual stony look. I'll save you the trouble. Don't ever say that again. To anyone. It won't work. 1 second I was looking at her, then the next she's turned her back on me as she walks into the VIP section. Damn. Well, I got some kind of rise out of her, didn't I? Although I couldn't tell if she was embarrassed for me or laughing with me. I might need to do some more work on my routine. As I turn the corner, I'm greeted with the bar. Hi, Russell. I was flirting with a werewolf lady. It did not work. But that's okay, I'm a vampire lady. We vibing. I can't tell if he's happy to see me or not, but he looks up at me after putting the glass back on the counter. Look what the dog dragged in. What brings you here on a school night? I'm still getting the lay of the land. Not much to do around here. Loud clattering of bone against bone emits from the skeleton across from me, jumbling together into what appears to be a laugh. You'd be the first to ever say that. Have you been wandering around outside with a blindfold on? No, but take your butt out the door and go look around. Or don't, if you've got a tip waiting for me. It's been nothing but cheapskates tonight. It's a shame I actually don't. I feel like a total sham of my kind, alive for generations, and yet somehow I've been unable to amass any of the wealth associated with that. Aww. I see Russell is making biscuits on you, and he's loafing. The cat is laying on the roomie. All I've got are outdated outfits and a few star pieces of ceramic I managed to hold on to. I'd start a museum, but that would take money that, as aforementioned, I don't have. What do you even do with that cash? It's not like you can roam around, up there. He laughs again, one loud, short ha. That sounds more like plates crashing than anything else. Up there isn't the only place that runs on cash, sweetheart. It's a self-inflicted plague that none of us can get rid of. I suppose currency is easier than a barter trade system, but I had hoped at least animated skeletons relied on gold, silver, and copper. Aesthetically speaking, it would make me a lot happier. Oh well. Are you gonna order something or what? Because you're hogging the bar and I like to break even tonight. I'm gonna order something. But could you put it on my tab? He looks at me, really looks at me, and I wonder what he'd be doing if he had flesh wrapped around his face, raising an eyebrow, frowning, all of the above. Instead, he stares with that same wide grin, an unintentional side effect of having all your teeth exposed. This time only, alright? You gotta close the tab by the end of the week. You're the best. I try my hardest to sound sultry, putting on some charm to soften the blow. Perhaps get an extension on that payment, but Aurelius just shakes his head while taking out a bag of AB. Put those eyes away. Now get out of here. I swirl the wine glass, taking a moment to appreciate the tang of metallic hitting my nose. I'm gonna take my time. After all, it's not like the people are lining up to take my spot. The only people in view are a couple making out against a wall, obscured slightly by the dark. Not that it works on me, I can see them clear as day. I did have a couple of questions before I go. Who runs this place? I think you've already run into her. Tall, blonde, could freeze hell over with a glance. She's the owner. I knew she worked here. I didn't realize she owned it. I didn't realize she owned here. Teasing the owner. The owner put her fingers in my mouth. I can safely say that's not my proudest moment. Better to know now before I make an even bigger ass out of myself. Yep, so you'll be closing that tab. Does she intimidate all her clientele? Only the special ones, but you're still here, aren't you? It's basically advertising. It's true that despite the reception, I've come back again. It's also true that she could easily bar me from the place, but she hasn't. She probably wasn't expecting a broke patron, though. I always defy all expectations. I'll make sure to let her know you're taking care of me. I take my leave as I hear Aurelius protesting, yelling after me. Do you want me to lose my head, too? That was a good bit of detective work. Now I know a bit more about my standing around here. I take a few long sips of my drink. It's been a long time since I've been so well fed. Well, I look around. Alex has all but disappeared, so I suppose that option is gone. I would try to find someone else, but none of them seem as interesting as her. Maybe next time I'll get a few more words out of her. For a split second, I think I see someone. Familiar. Uncannily so. But as soon as I blink, the figure has disappeared from the view. I don't know if I imagined it or if I saw it, but I feel my stomach drop all the same. The world tilts as if it's been thrown off its axis. That's no coincidence. I want to convince myself it wasn't real, but I know it was. It's high time I get out of here. Moving quickly, I find my way to the exit and scramble up the stairs. I've never been in a place so suffocating. Who was it? I can't lie, I have pre-interview jitters. Right. Don't want my cover blown, security, computer, hospital, and now we're gonna see our nurse dude. Good omen. Let's go talk to him. What's up, buddy? Hey, Isaac, right? Nice to see you again. Isaac looks up for a brief second, then back down the clipboard in his hand. I remember when that used to be me, writing down notes and handing out scalpels. Then a few decades later, I was the one being handed the blades. There's a twinge of envy when I realized that's not going to be in the books for me anytime soon. It's a long ladder to climb, one that's a lot harder. Being back in this environment, it's bittersweet. All of that seems to be lost on the man in front of me, who seems more intent on getting back to work than being interrupted by someone like myself. Yeah, good to see you too. Dead air fills the space between us. I clear my throat and keep talking. Thanks for the directions the other day, by the way. Would have taken me ages to find the right wing. Hospitals, am I right? Right. Well, I've got to go to that interview coming up in a few minutes, so hey, maybe I'll be seeing you again soon? Huh? This time he puts the clipboard down on the reception counter and looks at me when he talks. Oh, yeah, for sure. Good luck with that. You'll do great. Oh, he's being genuine. Oh, okay, thanks. He gives me an awkward pat on the arm and then turns to walk in the other direction. Pat on the arm? That's got to be a step in the right direction, right? At the very least, we're building a rapport. Maybe 10 more weeks of this and we'll have graduated talking about the weather. I gather myself and get going. Because truthfully, I don't have time to stand around and chat. The last thing I want to do is show up late when I'm already here and ready. Go to Chris. Boom. No body lingering. Boom. Blood. Love it. Jacket. Come on in. Keep it vague. Keep it brief. Keep it on topic. Open up door. Get it over with. Got a job. Huzzah. Same stuff. Yep. Night classes, radiology, table. Running out of time. Last sunrise. Is this where the phone comes in or this is where the mermaid come in? Right. All same dialogue. Da, 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 da. Right. Stray phone. Phone stuff's happening. Hello? And then they hang up. Yep. And I'm like, ah. Alright, get a free phone. Nice. Right, I'm all sad. I miss my sire. She's dead. And I'm like, we should unpack. And then we're unpacking. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So that's that route. What is... Right, because we did this. Then we did the road, which took us to the club. What does Park Street get me? Right, yesterday, Destiny, bigger picture. Right, this is... I think we're talking about the history. Right, been asleep for 100 years and the acting had to go. It all melts away. Something between me and the elements. Nothing stopped me from realizing who I really am. Oh. First comes the release. Oh, are we gonna murder again? I think I'm gonna eat again. Right, they know how to build high rise. I know what's coming. I close my eyes, allow myself to defeat until I'm satisfied. Let's not murder. How about that? Let's not murder this time. I can tear myself away with more ease than I thought. Of course I can. I played through this same routine countless times before. Within me, there is every bit of governance and restraint that I need to move through this world. No matter how many times I've been hurt, they will never amount to a reason for me to inflict on everyone around me. It hasn't been easy. Life never was before and after I turned. I've had every book thrown at me, every excuse used to look down on my presence. The anger can be too much sometimes. It's worse when I have the ball in my court. In an instant, I can become just as cruel a torturer those have been to me. Not tonight, though. I lay the person in my arms down on the ground, heart still fluttering, but strong enough to survive. These past few months have been difficult as I've tried to situate myself back into humanity, and I know I can't leave the next time I feed as long as I have. This person will be found, they'll wake, not entirely unscathed, but alive. They'll think they were mugged, their wallet miraculously still intact, and left only with a pain in their head from where they were knocked out. It's not ideal. A pang of guilt still hangs around my heart, but it could be far worse. I've been there where it's worse. Okay. Oh! Where are we now? Although I'm in the city center, it feels a lot quieter than the hustle and bustle down the road. What a difference a few blocks and some parkland can make. Palms line the boundary of the park, reaching up high into the sky. In the moonlight, they sway peacefully, cutting out shapes against the clouds. As I make my way in, I notice some stray figures and couples walking around. I can't help but feel the pang of guilt at the fact that any one of them could have been my target tonight, their lives hang in the balance, and for what? To satisfy me? Now that I'm participating in life again, I do well to realize what that means for everyone else around me. I'm not only playing with my own, but with theirs as well. I can't leave my meals as late as I did this time around. It only make it riskier and the consequences more deadly. Fountains, statues, and memorials. I pass by them all in my quest for, I'm not sure, clear my head, get myself in order before I continue with my night. The hunger is never sated for long, and the stretches of time I get before it rears its beastly head are short. I shouldn't take this for granted. It's as I seem to be getting to the end of my stroll do I conveniently come across an entrance to the train. At least that's useful. Maybe wandering aimless is exactly the kind of activity I need to be doing to get my footing. I'm about to go walk into the station when something suspiciously human-shaped appears right in front of me. It starts as a cloud of buzzing orbs and flecks of light, fragile and erratic, all the while I can hear a small, hollow voice talking. Can you hear me? The light bulbs leading to the station start to flicker, almost like the entity is zapping the energy from the area to form its voice. It gets a little louder this time. Please, 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 please tell me you can hear me. Oh, suddenly a young woman dressed perfect for a night out, say 60 years ago, pops into existence. If the color draining from the world and the uneasy atmosphere were enough of a clue that I'm dealing with a ghost, then I don't know what would be. It's nothing out of the ordinary, but it's not often you come across someone who hasn't passed over for what clearly seems like a long while. Most hauntings get resolved in a week or less, a decade if it's gnarly. This is obviously one dissatisfied specter. Sparks start to fly from a nearby lamppost. Hey, I can hear you just fine. Thankfully, that seems to do the trick. I wouldn't want this to seep so far that the train itself gets affected. There's enough pandemonium as it is. Oh, thank goodness. I've been trying to find someone who can help me, but there's so few people who come by here these days. It's not hard to guess why. Why don't you tell me what your name is? She flattens the hem of her dress, even though it's in perfect shape considering she's incorporeal. Alma. You can call me Alma. I don't bother trying to shake her hand as I know I'll slip right through. She clearly knows she's dead considering her whole entrance, so maybe the help in question will be to help her pass on? I've never been involved in something like that, something so serious. My entire life thus far can be described as self-serving and isolated. I do a small curtsy, playing the part of the chivalrous knight in shining armor. Isra, it's a pleasure. Now what can I do for you? Do you think you could grab me a soda? That's something new. I tried not to balk at the request, but clearly I didn't do enough hiding my expression. Is that, like, insensitive or something because you're a vampire? No, nothing like that. I guess I'm just surprised. Oh, what, you think I can't enjoy a soda because I'm dead? Talk about small-minded. You just passed judgment on me. If you're not gonna be useful, then just go. Jeez, all I wanted was a drink. This has spun wildly out of control. I'll grab your damn soda. I don't have an issue with getting you a soda. Alma rolls her eyes quite pointedly and crosses her arms. Then she grumbles something that would be lost on anyone but me. Could have fooled me. Most likely deliberately. Hey, do you want this drink or not? Because I can go home. Yes, my God, yes. I've even got the money here. I'll do it myself, but I can't leave the boundaries of you-know-what. I suppose even the oldest of ghosts can't escape the confines of their own deaths. In some respects, I understand. Even to this day, I have to carry the soil of where I last drew breath as a human to sleep. No matter how far we travel, no how long we stay attached to this earth, we're all still slaves to our past. Alma mimes handing over some coins, but they disappear once they land on my hand, and she lets out a frustrated sigh. More muttering follows. First, no one sees me for 5 whole years, and now this? What's going on with me? That's a little extreme. I've never met a ghost who can do, well, anything but talk. Really, I've never seen one who can physically conjure, interact with the real world apart from the objects they might have died with. But even that, it's normal for them to dissipate once they touch anything from the world of the living. It's odd to consider myself part of that, considering I'm an affront to living, but I'm still more alive than Alma. Maybe that's a bit rude. I've got some change, it's alright. But I used to be able to do this, talk to people, hold things, touch, and now it's all been taken away from me again. I feel like I'm fading more day by day. This has turned into an impromptu therapy session unbeknownst to me, but that first part is intriguing. Could you really? I mean, I've never known a ghost who can. Are you saying people could touch you? Her form starts to flicker again, rapidly buzzing in and out of existence. Even though she's speaking, it sounds further and further away. I don't think this is going to hold up for much longer. Great, the line's going dead now too. Whatever, go on. Just go, I'll see you never. And with that, she fades completely. That was not expected, but interesting nonetheless. I suppose I'll have to visit again some other time. Maybe I'll get to bump into her again. Alright, and then we go to St. Vincent's, and I'm guessing we have the whole hospital time. Right, we meet him, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to find the office. He's like, here you go. Here's the office. Right, skip doesn't work. Oh, hello. Yeah, it don't do nothing. And I'm like, oh, body. Oh, I'm resisting the temptations again. And we meet Chris, and he's winks at me, and he's like, you're a great fit. And I'm like, oh. Oh, reconvene. All right, reconvene. And then, let me guess, bumps into me. Nope, hiking. Permanent fixture. Oh, this is new. If there's one thing this eternal life has given me, it's the chance to see history come and go and be made once more. All around me, oh, now, come back. Is it log? It's not log, there it is. All around me does the world develop at an alarming rate. Was it ever this fast when I was alive? All I remember are unending winters and unyielding summers. Crops and ships and travel for the few, taxes for the many. My childhood seems as distant as a story that someone once recounted, as if it happened to someone else, rather than me. What I've experienced since has filled 10 lifetimes, if not more. It's a new opera season, and everything has changed once again. The clothes, the orchestra, the sound of song. It's all different in the very best way. Earlier this evening, my sire and I got to see the Paris Salon, too. Something that I can't have imagined happening a century ago. I found that the arts, no matter what form they come in, are the very best way to stay tethered to humanity. I lean over and whisper, Robert Le Deblier, I wonder if this is how the Duke is going to be remembered evermore. From the corner of my eye, I see a smile spread across her face. I fear that it's more than solidified at this stage, if it's inspired song and dance. Humans always love a tale of a deal with the devil. Or the son of one, at least. That makes me wonder for a moment. Do you think you'll be remembered? If I will? My, you're in a contemplative mood tonight? Is that what you want, to be remembered? No, I don't think so. I'd rather still be alive. Ha! Me too. I hear the rumbles of the orchestra finishing their warm-up and the crowd goes silent in turn. Here's to a night to remember. I blink away the scene and find myself staring at the coffin. I can still hear the strings of the violin ringing in my ears. Normally I found the memory would fill me with a strange sense of melancholy and longing. I'll never forget her, but I don't know if that's what she would have wanted. Or what I would have wanted. Maybe it's better for the sands of time to wash over her, smoothing out her features and washing them out to sea. How do you remember someone who so desperately wanted to live? How can a memory even do that justice? It's a pale comparison to the woman that I used to know. Sighing, I exit my bed and get started on what's to come. I've got some time to kill before my interview, but it never hurts to get there early, not to mention I don't want to accidentally lose track of time. Okay. Could go to the park to see Alma. There's also a few locations that I haven't seen yet. Perhaps it'll be good to acquaint myself with more of the locals. Or I could pick up some supplies from the pharmacy. I'm gonna say save. Make it 17 so I know. Because this seems like a good spot. Because we've done St. Vincent, we've done the road. I imagine if I choose to go to the park at the beginning, then I would meet Alma first. If I choose the bay, I would meet the mermaid first. But as far as I know, this is the only place I can do to get the pharmacy. So we're gonna go to the park because I want to see Alma. Thankfully, living so close to the station makes it simple to get into the city true. City true? What? Into the city true. I don't know what they mean by that, but okay. I have to say, I've been intrigued about Alma. It's not every day that you get to talk to a ghost before they pass on. Not that I feel some kind of responsibility to help her on her way. I'm not sure where the line is when it comes to this. I'm curious, deathly so, but I don't want to be rude, shooting off questions at her. I've had time to come to terms with my own end. That doesn't mean she has. That being said, I'm still going to ask questions. Before heading out of the station, I decided to grab a can of soda for her, be a good peace offering. Even if I have my doubts that she'll even be able to drink it. As soon as I step the threshold from the underground to the surface, I feel the sharp drop in temperature that tells me she must be nearby. Hello? Alma? I brought that drink for you. Initially, there's no response, only the soft crackling of static energy and the bugs nestled in the plant life, creating their music of the night. It takes some time before the lights start to flicker in and out, and her melodic voice starts to echo around me. I don't have to worry about being seen as a madman, considering the park is just as empty as it was the night before. Her presence must be a spectacularly strong one to scare off most people. If that's not a lemonade, I don't want it. Despite the prior warning, she still takes me off guard. I spin around to face her. Maybe next time you should give more precise instructions. She raises an eyebrow at that and crosses her arms. You were a little too busy arguing with me, don't you remember? Caught me off guard. I wanted to know more. You weren't exactly forthcoming. You caught me off guard. It's not every day that I get accosted for soda by random ghosts. Alma snorts in response, twirling her hair with a finger as a smile spreads across her lips, her face. Well, when you put it like that, it drops as quick as she put it up that front. Is that what you're expecting? No. You've got an attitude problem that you've got to work on, not the other way around. Fine, whatever. At least it seems she said her piece. I guess I should afford her more patience, considering the circumstances. Getting hunted down by villages and buried alive wasn't all that pleasant, and I've had several times longer to get past all that, along with immortality thrown in the mix. Who knows what happened to her to make her like this? How long have you been around here? You do not play a convincing part, let me tell you. I'm not about to take pointers from someone who looks better suited for Halloween, thank you. I'm doing fine. I did a lot better than you with mingling with the locals back when I could. No, seriously, when did you get into town? I don't see you a lot around here often. I arrived during New Year's. I haven't had the pleasure to meet many of the local. I dropped my voice and surveyed the area. Call me paranoid, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Alma doesn't seem to get the memo because she looks extremely amused at my reluctance to discuss this. What? Are you allergic to the word as well as sunlight? She wiggles her fingers and does a little ooh before trying her best as a Transylvanian accent. You're obviously a vampire. I doubt anyone cares. Certainly not the clan or coven or whatever you call it. I think they're down like 5 blocks or something. You should take a look. Maybe they can teach you how to use a cell phone, you know? Like a mentorship program so you don't lose it if you see a lava lamp. Being yelled at by a ghost. I've been accused of many things, but not being out of date. That's a step too far. How old do you think I am? Geriatric, dude. No doubt about it. And who are you to judge? I've seen the magazines. I've watched television. I think you're a few decades too late yourself. I can't help what I look like. You, on the other hand. Yikes. No style. And you prance around like you're a Victorian dandy. Face it, you have your work cut out for you. And this is your pitch to what? Give me a makeover? Please, I know a lost cause when I see one. Oh my god. She doesn't seem quite finished, and she keeps eyeing me as if she's waiting for me to crack or something. But I'm willing to make a deal. I teach you how to not get caught by people wielding pitchforks and wooden stakes. You let me get my confidence back with people. Sounds good? She seems to be vastly underestimating how good I already am at not getting caught by pitchforks and stake-wielding lunatics. But it's not like I'm faux pas with everything this century has to offer. Or that I've got a budding social life. At least this way I might have a way to pass the time. Alma isn't that bad to talk to, even if every second sentence seems to be an insult on my person. And maybe I'll get a chance to hear more about this group of vampires that have nestled in the city, though I'm still not sure if that's the type of crowd I want to immerse myself with. You don't seem that lacking in confidence from where I'm standing, but sounds good, I suppose. You haven't seen the worst of it yet. That performance I put on for you the other day? That's what a lack of confidence looks like. Now, shake my hand so it's official. I'm not sure what she's hoping for, considering we just saw what happens when she tries to interact with the world only moments earlier, but I decided to humor her. I stick my hand out and she takes a moment to take it, but surprisingly, she does just that. It's a chill so cold it feels like wet around my hand when Alma finally shakes it. Yes! Oh yes, we're back in business, baby! I'm in as much shock as she is, but there's not much longer to celebrate. Her form flickers rapidly in and out of existence, her hooting and hollering filling the night air before she finally blips out entirely. I guess my skepticism? Wasn't entirely warranted this time around. Maybe I'll actually learn a thing or two from her. Her joy seems to carry me all the way back to the train and then some. I can't lie, I have pre-interview jitters. Alright. Dun dun dun. Gotta get inside. Right, skipping as always doesn't work. And I'm like, just go to the interview. Let him do his thing. Right? We're not good at socializing. What am I gonna tell him? Oh, I'm a vampire. Right, we get the job. He's like, good job, blood bags. And then what? This is where we meet the club, I imagine. Oh wait, no, this is all about Alma. I'm silly, ignore me. Despite the fact I'm still on my way to empty dwelling, by the person I believe I spend the rest of Earth days with, I think less of her absence and more of her presence around me. I know that once I climb up the numerous stairs, the mood will fade and I'll be left with the somber remnants of the day. But right now I cling onto the small comfort that Alma has provided. She might be a menace, loud and moody, but she has something I seem to be lacking. But it also seems that I have something she's lacking. There's still a nagging sensation of curiosity that makes me want to sift through everything she's lived through, everything she's seen. But I try to quiet that part of myself. Almost made it clear that she doesn't want some nosy stranger poking in our business. A sentiment I can appreciate, so all that's left to do is allow her to open up in her own time. After all, she's stuck around on this planet for so long that I doubt she'll let up on her unfinished business anytime soon. As the cramped streets melt away, through sunbeams, and then cell phone? Better take more notice of the time. The trains aren't as reliable as I seem to have once believed. Says the damage. There's a coat of dust on every surface and plenty of half-filled boxes to trip on. What is it that I'm doing here, really? There's a creeping apprehension each time I look in the direction of my imaginary to-do list, one that's plastered on every corner of every wall. I know the real reason I've avoided sorting through my things thus far. There's a world of memories stored alongside all the memorabilia I've collected through the years. Sometimes I come home and I want to throw everything away, start fresh, and become a brand new person without all this baggage. But then I can't bring myself to lose anything more when I've already lost so much. There's an eternal game of tug-of-war each time I come back home. There'll be no more avoiding it. Tomorrow I'll get started on these boxes once and for all. Okay. Oh, and that's how that one is. Okay, so we've met Alma. We've met Suni. We met the werewolf. We met Aurelius. So what does the pharmacy have? What does the pharmacy have for us? I wonder. All right, continue, load. I think it was, what, 17? Right. Because we already, meet her and stuff. Right, because that's to meet her. What does the pharmacy have? There's so many routes. There's plenty of pharmacies that dot the street, but there was one that had caught my eye, which seems to be the opposite of what it was going for. Unassuming entrance, darkened windows, and a doorbell to enter. The extra security might be questionable on any other street, but I can understand why the owners would have set it up in this particular way. It doesn't take too long until I come across the same sturdy door. Standing out of the way of the locals on the sidewalk, I press the bell and wait. A voice crackles through the line, whisper quiet. My, what a delectable thing you are. Now that's weird. Have I piqued your interest, little mouse? Come in, I have all that you require. A less trusting person would turn the other way, but am I a less trusting person? It's been a while since my instincts for self-preservation have kicked in, considering there is little that can harm me and much that I can harm instead. But a shiver crawls its way down my spine. However, curiosity has always been my greatest fault. Arrogance and curiosity. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna do a little save and I'm gonna say, go in! Against my better judgment, I enter the store. It was unimpressive from the entrance, but inside it's an explosion of clutter and mess. This reminds me more of the apothecaries that I've seen in centuries past than any modern-day pharmacy. Littering the tables are flasks and poultices, herbs hanged up and dry, and specimens of every sort kept in containers. I've certainly not walked into any ordinary store. What is most jarring of all is that the person that voice belonged to is nowhere to be found. I could have sworn they were right by the entrance, but looking around, it's almost like no one was here at all. Right as I'm about to turn to leave again, I hear them pipe up from further inside. You hunger, do you not? A metallic sound follows soon after, and suddenly I see a pair of bright, glowing eyes coming from a slot in the wall. Another door? Some sort of spy hole? I instantly notice their pupils. It would be hard not to. Pinprick slits instead of the regular round I'm used to. What are you? Have you forgotten your manners during your slumber? That's no way to speak to a host. Another chill travels through me. Whoever this is knows more about me than I'd like. I could argue you're not being a very welcoming one. Am I not to see you? I prefer my privacy. I'm sure you might understand why. Isra. That's my last straw. I storm up to the hole in the wall. And who might you be? Some middleman come here to lure me and kill me? No matter how thick the wall, it won't save you. You've grown short in temper with your age. I thought you might enjoy the game more. If death is what you're worried for, worry no longer. I bring you the elixir of life. It sounds like I have much room to talk, considering I have an affinity for the dramatic, and I invite it wherever I go. But who the hell speaks like this? Gonna do another save. Kabow! Push on. As much as I hate to say it, I'm intrigued with the so-called elixir of life, too. Establishing a way to live anywhere, but especially in this era, is fraught and difficult. So many tools of surveillance, and too many rules. It's part of why I left in the first place. It's only become worse since the last time I was awake. You lot are always predictable. Here, take a look. Oh! A second slot opens in the wall, and with it, a tray peeks out with several key items on it. I'm still dubious, but I've been committed to this stupid idea of mine thus far. It wouldn't hurt to take a look. There's a bag in the back labeled AB, and I grab it with haste. Maybe it makes me look a little desperate, but I'm not past caring. With that, the tray gets snatched back and the slot closes again. I'm left standing eye to eye with whoever's puppeteering this behind the wall. Should I ask how you got your hands on this, or should I say pause? You can say whatever you like. I'm looking forward to getting to know you, Isra. It's been too long since we've had fresh blood around here. Judging by your wares, I'd wager you're lying. Are you still not going to tell me how you know my name? Yes. But you may know mine, Nyx. That's as unfamiliar as this entire exchange has been. I doubt I'd be able to even find the place in the local yellow papers, let alone anyone of that name. Maybe someone else will know more about this mystery person. I do not always have what you seek, but when you do, you'll know. It's been a pleasure doing business. You may go now. They don't need to tell me twice. I most certainly don't want to stick around any longer. I tip my head in acknowledgement and turn to leave. At least I can get on with my evening now. To St. Vincent's, and then the job interview and stuff. Pre-interview jitters, right. All this again. So maybe Nyx is the person? Just go to the interview. Right? Like, maybe Nyx is, like, the person who gave me the card, because they clearly know me, right? And they got eyeballs that are not human. So they might be a vampire, they might be a werewolf, they might be something totally different. Like, what if they're a Gorgon? Alright, get things done. Let's see. Apartment, surveying. Sky. Every thought. Someplace new. Right, the end of our sire. Oh, is this a cell phone? Garner so much attention. What will happen when I need to keep feeding, keep eating? Oh, new stuff, new stuff. Okay, hold on. New stuff, come here. Right, quiet movements. Rental. City to city, life is so much easier. Yeah. Now that I know I'm being watched as well, the world seems to have closed in just a touch more. There's less room to breathe when I need to consider my every move. If that pharmacist, if I'm willing to call them that, has already gathered that much information on me, who else is out there keeping tabs? They don't seem much of a threat, yet, but I never anticipated my quiet lifestyle could garner so much attention. What will happen when I need to keep feeding? Keep eating. The cameras in the hospital can't pick me up, but watchful eyes can see me just fine. But that's nothing that I can solve now that my day is coming to an end. All I can do is make sure my vulnerabilities are accounted for. I doubt there'll be anyone knocking down my door when I'm surrounded by people on all sides, but I'll need to figure something more bulletproof out. Maybe getting to know people, really know them, should be the first step. There's likely to be someone out there who knows more than they're letting on, dodgy pharmacists not included. Windows are covered. Cue to get ready to sleep. Don't want to see you in my dreams, memories. Have you got the documents? Ooh, a new one. She calls out, her voice bouncing off the halls. I don't know what room she's in, but she sounds quite far. The house has practically been torn down by the seams, with paintings strewn around the floor and clothes piling on the chase lounge. We don't have much time. We don't have much time. I don't know how much time we have. It could be seconds or minutes or hours. We've had to do this so many times that I move around the place with practiced precision, smoothing my movements as I push down the panic that's threatening to boil over. I put them in the suitcase. We can go as soon as we've done one last round. Right now, I'm making sure there's no trace of where we're going. When you leave, you want to leave right. I don't know what changed this time, but all I know is that they're coming and there's nothing we can do about it. It almost seemed like it'd been working here, but that was too much to hope for. I put the last few of my shirts into a bag. Normally they'd be folded neatly, but tonight they're shoved with careless abandon. Where are we going after this? There's no response, so I repeat myself a little longer. Nassar, where are we? I heard you. Her voice breaks as she trails off, and I find my feet taking me to her before I can even recognize what I'm doing. She's huddled in the center of the bed, a few framed photos surrounding her like a halo.
I've never seen her look so small. I kneel in front of her, resting my hand on her knee. Hey, what's wrong? What happened? She doesn't cry. I don't think I've ever seen her, but she looks like she is, regardless of the fact her cheeks are dry. I'm tired of this. I don't want to leave again. I hold out the dream with such severity that it takes me a moment to realize I'm not looking directly at her anymore, that I never was in the first place. I keep staring. I can almost see her outline in front of me in the darkness of my coffin. I can't even tell when that happened. There are so many repeats of the same scene, so much uncertainty in our lives, that it's rare to remember the times we could stay somewhere than the times we were forced to leave. I try to push the memory out of my mind. But do me no good to draw on the past, even if I can slowly feel it beginning to repeat itself. I don't want to be
forced to leave, not without her, not ever again. I sigh and take my leave, ignoring the mess around me as I try to gather what wits I have left. It doesn't feel good starting my day this way, but what can I do? Life goes on. At least the good news is starting to dawn on me. I've got a job. And I have some free time. There's nothing pressing that I have to get done today, so I can take my time doing whatever I want. Be my last free moment before the week is structured. Might be the last time. Visit the park. I can only visit the park. I kind of wanted to go to the pharmacist again. I have to say, I've been treated about Alma. It's not every day that you get to talk to a ghost before they pass on. Right, so this is that. Right, because this is where we stayed. We met Alma, and I was like, let's go to the pharmacy. So I'm guessing whatever you pick, right? And then you do pharmacy. Whoever you met, that's who you would go meet again, probably. Which I know we didn't do the whole, meet the mermaid again, but I don't want to spoil everything. I want people to experience. I wanted to get, the good chunks. Right? It's like, I got you a soda, and she's like, make sure it's a lemonade. I'll just go with, let's mix it up. Let's go with you weren't exactly forthcoming. This seems to only escalate things. She looks incredibly unimpressed, but hopefully you'll stay at that level alone. I don't need to be running home with burn marks because she popped a few too many light bulbs. I don't know you, lady, and I didn't ask for you to stick your nose in my business. I'm not sticking my nose in your business. I only wanted to ask a few questions. I feel like a broken record. You sound like one too. How many times can I tell you I'm not interested or whatever? Ego trip you're on? You call getting to know someone an ego trip? That says more about you than me. I'm not even sure why I'm still entertaining this when she doesn't seem like she'll let up anytime soon. In fact, why is she entertaining this too? You said you haven't spoken to anyone in 5 years. Why push away the only person willing to try? Alma shoots me a dirty look and she floats a little closer, jabbing a finger into my chest. This isn't trying. This is you trying to satisfy yourself. I don't need someone to save me like someone clearly needed to save you. You can't even die right, and you still think you can help me pass on? Alma, what? That's a step too far. Who the hell even talks like that? She's become overly familiar in a way I've never even imagined. Distantly, I realized that I might have done the same, but this is on another level. I'd come from a place of concern, trying to do my civic duty, while this is some kind of inquisition, tearing me down when we've met twice and spoken hardly. I'm not sure what else there is to say. Someone who's so insistent on upturning my life story. I've had enough. You know what? I don't need this. Goodbye, Alma. I'll actually be the one who sees you never. She doesn't protest my leaving. In fact, she finds it hilarious. I can hear her laughter as I stomp my way back into the train station. Before I turn a corner, I hear her shout, "Now we're even!" Even once she's out of sight, I can't keep her out of my mind. I feel unsatisfied. I feel restless. Most of all, I feel like I'm as transparent as she is if she managed to get that much right. The train ride home is choppy and uncomfortable. Alma's voice had been replaced by the announcements of conductors and the busybodies huddled on the platforms and street. Yet I still can't get her words, "Now we're even," out of my head. There's one thing about her. She knows how to get under your skin. I'm not even sure if there's any point in getting to know her, seeing as she's adamant on the exact opposite. But I still can't help the nagging sense of curiosity that's been growing within me. I've never been one to get hung up on people. Maybe it's the loneliness finally starting to set in. I'm a solitary creature at heart, but even I get bored of talking to myself all day. But Alma? I'll have to think on it if it's worth going back there again and trying to start over. Despite the inroads I've made establishing myself in this city, I still feel as isolated as ever. Sure, there's plenty of people on the streets and in the crowds, and I'm not wanting for neighbors, but there's no one I've met yet who I feel like I can properly talk to. All I've had thus far are strained conversations and fleeting meetings. Somehow, the busier it gets, the less connected I feel. I'm not sure if there's anything to do to remedy this yet, but tonight has been another blow, another setback in the social department. Maybe once I start this job, I'll have more people to talk to. I've never been good sitting idly by while life keeps getting on. Being cooped up indoors all day has begun to take its toll. As I keep making my way down the leafy streets, I create a mental checklist for everything I want to get when my paycheck gets in. I want a computer, I want a TV, I want a radio so that I can listen to people even while I stay secluded in an apartment I must now call home. With the windows boarded shut and my hours limited to the night, the most I can hear is the hum of cars passing down below me and a stray conversation every now and then. I'm clearly in some sort of mood because I can't stop wishing for things to be different. When my cluttered apartment greets me once again, I linger on all the boxes strewn around the room. I've lived too many different lives to count, and yet I can't seem to face any of them. Every little item that I've carried with me throughout the years still reminds me of her. There had always been ups and downs, the low moments that punctuated every happy occasion, but I used to think my life was a guarantee, that no matter what trespass, there'd be a way through. The solitude I have now is unlike anything I've ever experienced. But what is there to do now, if not keep moving forward? I can decide to give up, crawl back underground to slumber for another 100 years, or I can keep going. One substandard evening can't define everything else that I've accomplished. Come tomorrow, I'll start unpacking. It's long overdue. Interesting. Okay. I like all the stuff. I definitely like it. I like the music. I like the characters. I'm intrigued with the story because I'm like, what happened to my sire? Like, did she die? Like, did she kill herself? She was like, I'm done running. Did they get her? Did the hunters get her? It feels like the hunters got her. But it's like, ooh, flirting with the owner of the bar, making friends with Aurelius, kind of being friends with the mermaid and a ghost, and then whatever Nyx is, the pharmacist. It's good. It's very intriguing. I like it a lot. Cool. Well, that is going to be it for today. The demo is out and available, so if you'd like to try it yourself and see, like, what route you get, because obviously I didn't do everything. Oh, but we got all the stuff yay, we got all the stuff. Sorry, I just wanted to see. So we didn't do, like, everything, like, every dialogue option, but we did most everything. So be sure to try the demo out for yourself, and then be sure to give this game a wishlist, because I know I'm going to. But until next time, Suzu is Massey. Bye-bye.